Hi, Dr. Anoop. Thank you for joining. Can you hear me? I have accepted the invite. Clicked on accept. Oh, saying it's unable to join.
Okay, I can see.
Yeah, finally, after so long, yeah. Good, good. Maybe some network issue. It's been raining here in India since last 2 days. Um, Finally, it's here. Yeah, thank you so much for joining my channel.
Sure.
And hi, everyone. So this is Dr. Anoop, MD, MM, and he's an author. He's the COE of Health Revolution in US, and he's also psychic. So thank you so much, Dr. Anoop, for joining and looking at your experience. It's a great learning from you, and we would like to hear about your journey and about your books.
Sure. Well, the two books are back there, Michelangelo's Medicine and Is This a Dream? Journey, I'll give you the short version of the journey. Starting from the beginning of this lifetime, I was born here in Washington, D.C. My family moved back to Kerala when I was about 6 months old and lived there for about 5 years. And then when we came back here, and I've been in the Washington, D.C. area most of my life, and raised in the philosophy of Advaita Vedanta. Our family was very much into that. And then school in comparison seemed a little bit boring, not quite as interesting as Advaita. And then eventually went into medicine and found that we were looking at the human being incompletely. So that's when I started speaking and writing about consciousness and the nature of reality and human nature. And that's how these books came about. And here we are today.
Great, great to know about your journey. And I was working my way in my childhood to become a doctor as well. So a lot of research work and that mental spirituality zone has been in picture since childhood. And I'm very much interested in what you are teaching through your Health Revolution. So please tell us
Yeah.
about Health Revolution.
Health Revolution is the application of this deep knowledge that comes from the Upanishads and our great culture, this deep knowledge applied to today's world, specifically through the lens of health and emergency medicine. I'm an emergency doctor. What does that look like? Well, when you look at what this deep wisdom is telling us, it's telling us that we are not seeing ourselves completely. And the true emergency here is that we don't know who we are. We don't know where we come from. We don't know what this world is, and there's a lot of superficial knowledge about the nature of the world in our society. So Health Revolution is here to shift the state of our society from disease to health and healing. And what does that really mean? That means all of those things, seeing who we are, understanding our nature, understanding our purpose, and also healing disease, reversing diseases on a very practical level. That entire range and that shift of what's happening in our society, this is Health Revolution. And we do that through our work, our process, let's say our theory of change are these four engines of nutrition, movement, connection, and rest. And that is how we go through this process of shifting our state, our society from disease to heal.
Awesome, awesome. So that's nutrition, rest, movement,
Nutrition,
and
movement, connection, and rest.
connection and rest. So wow, reiterating to everybody, that's the wisdom that we needed today. And this revolution is very much required, which you've started, and I hope it increases more and more and spreads to the whole globe. What about your books? Please tell us about that.
Michelangelo's Medicine was the first book that I wrote. It was really, in my earlier years in medicine when I said that we need to have a more complete model of the human being. So I talk about the physical body, the mental body, the energetic body, and I talk about the state of healthcare. Like, what is the knowledge that is missing in healthcare today? One of the things I talk about is the informational problem versus operational problem. So whenever we talk about healthcare and improving healthcare, a lot of it is operational. How do you deliver the care? How do you set up the programs? How is the health insurance working? We don't talk much about the knowledge, the informational problem. Like, what is a human being fundamentally? How do we most accurately represent the anatomy of a human being? That nobody talks about that. So what happens is
So,
you
so,
have
yeah.
this radically incomplete knowledge, and you're working on better and better ways of getting it out to everybody. But the problem is the knowledge, actually. So
True,
I
true.
talk about that in the book. Yeah.
Great, great. But how
So
did a doctor end up in spirituality with so much knowledge?
because he was into that before he became a doctor. So the family was very much into Advaita, as I said, and that always fascinated me. It just seemed so much more relevant than most of the things we were learning in school. And so when I learned all the medical stuff in medical school and in residency, it was still that deep knowledge that was coming through it. So we have to update our medical knowledge today.
So true. So well said. That's so much required. True. And what about your second book?
The second book was Is This a Dream? And that was to answer some of the more deeply, what we would call spiritual questions, about who we are and the nature of the world, also in a way that can honor our rationale, that can honor our reasoning ability, our ability to think and question. One should always be allowed to question, to think, to figure it out, to reject, to accept, right? It's not a dogma. It's not just a belief system. It has to become one's own experience. So to satisfy that, and I was getting a lot of the same kinds of questions. So the book is in a Q&A kind of format, most of it. And it's basically
Oh, that's
responses to so many doubts and questions
great.
that I've gotten over the years.
Awesome, awesome. So, is this really a dream, like our life? What do you say?
The mechanics are similar. The mechanics
Mm,
are similar, meaning like just how a dream is created,
mm.
this waking state is also created. So,
Right, right. That's the real state.
yes, that Turiya
Yes,
state. So,
yes.
even when
Right.
we talk about, even if you look at the question, right, is our life really a dream? We can see the assumptions in the question, right? It's not is life is a dream.
Mm-hmm.
What we're asking is our waking state the dream state?
Right,
That's actually the question, right?
right, right.
Because life is something that contains the waking state and the dream state. And, in our waking state, we do things, we go places, we traverse space and time, and the same thing happens in the dream. And ultimately, the waking state, if you start to look at what anything is made of, if you look at what your hand is made of, and you go down to the smallest levels, all you have is energy, vibrations of
Yes,
energy, infinite vibrations of energy. So if you look in the dream and look at what any character in your dream is made of, what are they made of? They're made of that infinite mind that's vibrating as those individual characters. So the substance is the same. It's just that our knowledge has not caught up to that level yet.
true, true. So, what is your message, one final message to the audience here?
Healing is possible when we understand what all healing can mean.
So true. So true. Thank you so much for being on my channel today. And thank you for letting everybody know about your books and about Health Revolution. I hope everybody will go and visit the website. Do check out the course available there, designed by Dr. Anoop, and that's surely going to help. There's a doctor healing you and guiding you now. Take care. Thank you so much. Namaste.